Peace and blessings, everyone. Greetings, assalamu alaikum. What's going on? I pray and hope that everyone is doing wonderful on this Saturday morning. So, I'm excited about today's conversation, y'all. Man, it has been a glorious 2023. We haven't had an interview in a while. So, I'm excited about just coming back to my channel. And continuing to have these conversations around the art of living. Oftentimes people think of, well, I don't know what you think when you think of the art of living, but sometimes people think of nature, people think of, trees and water and all of that. And it is all of that. And it also is the way to live our life. So, for those that don't know, I believe that there's an art to everything. Art is simply our human expression with our time and energy that we have on planet Earth. And so I do believe there is a art to living, right? And if everyone just chose to do whatever they wanted to do, which, we see a world like that, we wouldn't necessarily have some good standards and good morals and good ethics. So I think there is a art to living. I think part of that is rooted in scripture. It's also rooted in just like human nature, right? How to take care of yourself and how to take care of the next human being on this planet. So, with all that being said, I'm excited to come back to do an interview. I don't know. I don't even think I've done an interview in 2023. So that's interesting in and of itself. Maybe I have, maybe one. But I'm excited to come back and just, really do and put out the energy and the content of what we need to do. So today's show, I'm excited about. I get ready to have a conversation around the youth summit because that is something that was amazing last weekend. If you see me over here, I'm just checking my phone and making sure that I'm live on Instagram too. So, but today's show, y'all, it's about to be lit. I have my dear friend and my brother, who I get to call my brother, Alex Green, in the building. And yeah, I'm not even going to start. I'm going to just bring him in and then I'm going to give some context because we just had a beautiful, beautiful experience last Saturday. So we're going to talk all about it. And then I have a few questions that I want to follow up with my friend about it. So y'all just stay tuned and tap in. Of course, you can use the chat if you're watching live and drop us some questions. I know it's early for some people, but for some of us, we work 24/7. So this is right on time. So let me bring my brother in. Let's see if I know how to. Y'all, when you ain't done your interviews in a while, you forget the features. I forgot how to even set up things, but I'm back in my game now. I'm back. There we go. Good morning, sir. How are you? Yeah.
To get it out, my bad. I couldn't even help myself, man. I couldn't even help it.
Let's
God,
go. Let's
I'll be
go.
turned up when we talk.
All day. Man, all day. So I just have to say for the record, for those that may not know, I took a 5-day vacation. Well, this is day one of the 5 day. It's really not even 5. It's really like 4. But whatever. I'm gonna tell myself it's 5. And I say that to say this. People are like, oh, Imani, you gotta rest. Take some time off. I'm like, yep, I'm gonna do that. But you know what I'm vacationing from? I'm vacationing from everyone else. So guess what I'm doing right now? I'm doing all 100% what Imani wants to do.
Yep.
So you know what Imani wants to do? Wake up and have an interview and have a conversation with my good friend Alex.
Yep.
And record it and build content. You know what I mean? So like, yeah, I'm on vacation from everyone else's expectations. But right now, these next 4 days is all about what Imani wants to do. Because we put everybody else. Yeah. Anyway, we're gonna talk about that in a minute. So
can I just jump into it, or you want to introduce me?
Come on. Well, go ahead.
All right. So y'all know I'm Alex. Man, me and Imani go way back. Love what you're doing. Positivity, peace, prosperity, love, joy, happiness, higher power. I mean, all the boxes are checked off when it comes to Imani, in case y'all didn't know. I'm on the same wave, man. I had some a lot of success in my life, a lot of setbacks in my life, and I'm on the same thing: love, prosperity, peace, hope, happiness, joy, all those good things, higher power. Like, but okay, so let me jump into it now. I'm done introducing. You good with that?
Beautiful. Let's go.
Okay. So, man, when you was talking about like taking a break from other people and like, man, Imani, you need a break. You need like some time off. You're going too hard. Like, what does that mean?
Come on.
And like, listen, I have this conversation a lot because, and I hate to say punishing myself. That's not what I'm doing. I'm not punishing myself. But what I'm doing is I'm making sure I don't get complacent.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So like I might take a break, but I'm making sure I'm keeping my foot on the gas. You feel what I'm saying? Like,
period.
And when they say slow down or take a break, what does a break look like? I haven't took a break since 2021. I'm just being real. Like I think my break was when I was in 45-day inpatient in Jacksonville. And when I got out, like I haven't took a break because I feel like I already took a break.
Come on.
I already took that time off. Like I did that already. I already took a break. I already went hard for a month and then, okay, chill. Went hard for 2 months, even a year. Let's give it a year. And then chill. Like, bro, ain't no breaks. Like, yeah, you can take time to yourself and bring yourself in and decompress and all that good stuff. Yes, like take care of your mental health, your physical health, listen to your body. But when they say take a break or vacay, like, yeah, but like I'm still like at it though. Even on my vacay, I'm at it. Like there ain't no real breaks. Like man, I never seen, and I talked to the guys yeah.
Go ahead.
Nah, so I talked to the guys in the Olympic. I'm like, bro, like I've never seen a pit bull chill. I've never seen a dog like chill when his owner's saying attack. And if your higher power is saying, look, go hard, attack, like when do that dog will get put down if he don't do his job. And our owner, our higher power, our God is saying attack in life, attack your abilities, like exhaust yourself. When it's all said and done, give everything that I gave you and exhaust it. Like leave nothing behind. So when is there like why would I chill on that? You know what I'm saying? Like I haven't comprehended the whole like chill part, but I do like what you said about like, yeah, I'm gonna take time to myself, but I'm gonna hop on this podcast. I'm gonna hop on this interview. You know what I'm saying? Like that's my chill.
Yeah.
So like yeah, I'll chill. Okay, I won't do this that y'all want me to do, but I'm gonna hop on my own, podcast and do an interview. Like that's my chill time. I love that, man. I love that.
Yeah. Yo, let me say this to you on that because we ain't even got to the youth summit, y'all. We're gonna get there in a minute. But so two things I want to say. My grandmother, who is still, I have both my grandmothers alive, and which is a blessing. My grandmother, who's 92 years old, she worked for herself for probably 40 years. As long as I've known her, she always was working for herself. And I remember telling her, now I'm in my 20s and 30s, and I'm like, oh yeah, I'm taking a vacation. And she was like, what are you taking a vacation from? You know what I mean? Like now I'm in college, I'm about to play some basketball. I might have been working at like the community center or something. She looking at me like, why are you taking a vacation? And at the time I didn't understand. I'm like, dang, grandma, I can't take a vacation. She's like, I don't. And she said the same words. I've never understood people saying they need to take a break. What you taking a break from, right?
Yeah.
Now my grandmother is 92 years old. She still drives. She still got her mind sharp, right? Of course, she's 92, so she's the body don't do the same. But at the end of the day, what my whole point was, she was an entrepreneur. She'd worked for herself. And so she never had the understanding of why people need to take a vacation, because if your work is your passion and your work is what fuels you every day, what you taking a break from? Why are you taking a break from what feeds you, what fuels you, what gives you passion, and gets you up every day?
Come on.
So there's that, right? Then I think of Minister Farrakhan. Minister Farrakhan is going to be, I can't do the math, but I think he's about to be 90, 89 or 90. I don't know. Maybe I'm putting too many years on it, but he up there.
Yeah.
And he stands up and gives 2.5-hour lectures. Still to this day. If he can
Come
still do
on.
what he doing and
Right.
holding up humanity, holding up Black people first, but the entire humanity, and speaking on behalf for justice, freedom, equality, and if he can do that, and I'm less than his, I'm half his age, I
Right.
don't have an excuse to not go hard. I don't have an
Right.
excuse to be like, oh, I'm gonna take a break. Like, that's just me. And one of the other pieces I'll say to this is like, I've always had this philosophy of like, I can sleep when I'm dead, because
Mm-hmm.
that's real. Because once you ain't here no more, it's a wrap.
Right.
So my question is, what are we doing to justify our existence? You know what I mean? If we still
Yep.
got air in our lungs and we're able to breathe and get up every day and got an able body, I feel like it's my duty
There you
to
go.
walk
That's it,
in
right?
my,
Yep.
it's a duty. And when I don't, then that's selfish, honestly.
Yeah.
It's selfish for me not to do what I feel like God has given me the ability to do. Or it's selfish for me to not help another brother or sister. You know what I mean? So but I will say, with all that I just said, we have to find ways to carve out a peace of mind. We have to find ways to be able to just sit down, breathe, and be still. But that don't mean taking a break from the mission. So
No. Right.
yeah,
And if I can just coattail on that, there's people who are not able to do what we do. And
come
we've
on
been
now.
blessed with whether it's just the blessing of being able to mentor, to
Yep.
inspire, motivate, to fellowship, or whether it's even just to be like a physical vessel to people to help. Like you said, we have a mission. And
Yep.
so if I wake up every day and I'm blessed with these abilities, like it really is selfish of me to not exhaust those
Mm-hmm.
God-given abilities, especially to the
Mm-hmm.
ones who cannot, and so yeah, like when you talk about a break and all that stuff, man, like it's a sensitive topic because like you
Mm-hmm.
said, what are we taking a break from?
Right.
And
Right.
and I'm not talking about, and don't get my words construed, I'm not talking about a mental break or mental health, or if I'm depressed and got anxiety, I need to take some time. I'm not talking about that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm talking about your God-given abilities. What are you really taking a break from?
Mm-hmm.
Like, why are you not
Absolutely.
exhausting every outlet and option that you have?
Right.
And for me, man, like, and again, I keep going back, like, once 2022 hit, it was like go. And even when I travel, like I don't travel, like I only travel now, like if I'm doing a speaking engagement, hitting these
Mm-hmm.
schools, or if I'm going to go see the kids,
Right.
and I'll try to set it up where they're both in the same city. But I've
Right.
never I haven't took a vacation yet and just
Mm-hmm.
like from what? Like
Right.
from what? When I played football, man, we had a 16 game season. It'd be 20 if you make it to the playoffs. And once the
Right.
offseason hit, it was like, okay, let's take a break. But even on your break, it's not like a break. It's like, okay, I'm in hot tub, cold tub, I'm getting treatment on my
Right.
body. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yep.
it's not like I'm just
Yep.
stopping. I'm just changing how I'm attacking the mission.
Exactly.
It's not a real break.
Exactly.
It's just changing. Okay, let me hit this angle now because I might not be able to go physically today, but let me go
Right.
mentally. Like even in ball when we would get hurt, get injured, and we can't physically practice, they will always tell us, make sure you get your mental reps. Get your
Mm-hmm.
mental reps.
Mm-hmm.
So be extra in tune in practice. Understand what the play is being called, how to do it. Get
Right.
your mental rep in because that's just as good as getting a physical rep. But there's no
Yep.
like, oh, you hurt, okay, just take the day off or take the week off. No, come out here on your crutches and get your mental reps in. Like you still gotta work. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? You still gotta grind. Like there's no
Yep.
like real break.
Yep.
And once I applied that to my life, man, it's been just. And then you start building that habit though too. You start building a
Exactly.
habit of like going hard and it's not like grind until you lay it in the ground. No, but it's like, yo, we attacking. We have a mission to attack. We have a purpose to
Yep.
fulfill.
Yep.
That's the part that's like, bro, ain't no breaks in no mission.
Absolutely.
Ain't no breaks in
Absolutely.
no mission. Malcolm didn't take no breaks. Martin didn't take no
No.
breaks. Rosa didn't take a break. Harriet
No.
didn't take no breaks. There's no breaks. There's just different ways to attack the mission and the purpose. Oh, where you go, Imani? Where you go? I lost you.
Wow.
Oh, okay.
Are we back, y'all?
I got you.
We back?
Yep, I got you.
Okay. Yeah, the Wi-Fi want to act up around here. Okay, cool. We cool. You know, technology. Yeah, and the other piece to this break piece, and for me, what I've been able to do, and like I said earlier, I've been looking at all the things that I've been putting off. So
Mm.
um, this channel, I haven't been doing any interviews, and this I love doing interviews. It's like, okay, I got to set up an interview. I'm revising my book that's coming out. I need to restart my website, and then I have a whole nother project that um, I'm gonna put out very soon. It's a speaking album, so I got 7 tracks that I've recorded,
That's
um,
so dope.
and they were actually from like lives that I've done. So that's the organic piece of it. Like I didn't want to rehearse it. Somebody asked me to like read it, and I'm like, no, I want to just from the raw inspiration that I've had, just put it on the track. So um, all that stuff has been just sitting on the back burner you know, because I've been doing everything else, which I'm not mad about, but this is what vacation looks like to me. Vacation
Right.
looks like centering myself, my own projects, my own brand, and making it happen. And I got 4 days
Yeah.
to make it happen. So
Come on.
that's what I'm ready to do. But
Come on.
that's to me, that's that whole thing. Is like we give 40 hours, 30 hours, whatever it is to someone else's dream, to
Mm.
someone else's platform, to someone else's vision. And that's great because we do need employees and employers, for to make that happen. Everybody can't be an
Right.
entrepreneur, but at
Right.
the same time, everyone is a brand. And
Right.
the question is, what are you doing? What is your brand? How do you represent yourself? And put your story out. That's my thing too, is everyone has a story. You know, I mean, from the moment we were born until we expire, we got a story. Our whole life is a story. And you
Yep.
never know how your story can impact and influence and inspire someone else. You know what
That's
I mean?
good.
And that's what it's really about, you
That's
know.
good. That's good. I like that. Yeah. And it's and it's always helpful for me to look at the bigger picture.
Yep.
Like if there's somebody listening who like, man, how do I, keep going and going and not want, when I get exhausted, not want
Mm-hmm.
to take some time, or we all
Yep.
get unmotivated. When we get
Yep.
unmotivated,
Absolutely.
I still get unmotivated. People tell
Yep.
me like, man, how do you still like? Look, I'm still human. I still get sad. I still get
Yep.
depressed. I still have anxiety. I still get
Yep.
unmotivated. There's some days I don't feel like all the time.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But what keeps me going, and hopefully somebody hit this, what keeps me going is that like look at the bigger picture. That's what get me out of bed when I don't feel like it, or keep
Yep.
me up at night where it's like, okay, I got to do this paperwork. I really don't like. Okay, what's the bigger picture? And so for me,
Yep.
when I look at the bigger picture and like the actual purpose of what I'm doing and why I'm doing it, that's what get me out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
Like that's what keep me kind of in it on the days I don't feel like doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Because it do get hard.
Yep.
It's not just like rah rah and you know keep going at it, get up, let's go. Nah, like some days it's like, bro, I don't want to hear that. And
Right.
there's some days where I gotta
Absolutely.
call one of the homies and it's like, yo, I need some motivation, bro. Like I need the motivation. I need it. Like I don't
Right.
feel like doing nothing. I don't want to talk to nobody. I don't want to hear nobody talk. I don't want to engage in nothing today. I need some motivation. I got to keep reminding myself, like, what's the bigger
Yep.
picture? It's not even about me. It's not even
Right.
about me. At this
Right.
point, so that's like, all right, I'm not even doing it for me no more. So I can go do it for somebody else, though. I'll make somebody else. Okay. And it's not even like their
But I
dream,
think,
but it's like to impact.
man, you said it earlier about habits, because that's really what it's rooted in. It's like we 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 have this mindset to create habits and a pattern of thinking and a pattern of how we move in life, right?
Right.
I need to just say it louder for people in the back. Don't get it twisted. Like it is not easy to be up every day and be on the top of your game.
No.
So that's why we're pressing the whole thing of like, if you create the habit and the pattern, you may be that much closer to have maybe less days of struggle and depression and frustration. But don't get it twisted. Like there are days where I don't want to do a thing for anyone, not
Yep.
even myself. You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so, but that's why it's so important to have the right mindset, because we know that that's human nature. Like we're all going to go through that. But if you don't have that foundation and that motivation and that strength from the creator to keep you pushing, then you're going to have more days depressed than not. You know what I
Right.
mean? I think
Right.
that's what I want to just stress for the people. It's like we don't wake up every day just joyful and happy go lucky. You know, it's in there
No.
somewhere.
No.
But
Yeah.
but we're creating those patterns so that we have more days than not in this
Exactly.
type of mindset. Absolutely. Yeah.
Exactly. And that's what it's about. It's just having nobody said you're immune to bad days or bad
Right.
moments. Nobody said you're immune to depression, to
Yeah.
anxiety, to fear, like to not really knowing what to do. No, you're not immune to these things. But if you can if you can have more good days than bad, then you're on the winning end of the spectrum. And that's really all it's about. It's like we're trying to just build more wins than losses.
Yep. Exactly.
That's all it is. We're trying to stack more wins on this side than having, oh man, I've been depressed for a week. As opposed to, look, I only been depressed for 2 days this week, bro. I just won that week. I won that week. And that's okay.
That's it. Yep.
Like you won that week. Nobody said you're not gonna be depressed at all this week. But you didn't let it take you 7 days down the line, and now you bounce back 2 weeks later. Nah, I bounced back, 2 days later, as opposed to 2 weeks later. Now I'm back up, and I got 5 days on the winning end, bro. You won that week. You good. That's okay. So it's just about when you pressing forward, man. It's just really trying to break down those barriers and not let that the other side on the negative side let that snowball.
Right.
We're just eliminating the snowball effect, and building the other side up on the winning end to where that can snowball a little bit faster than the negative side. Once that negative side snowball, man, listen, that snowball a little bit faster and it build a little bit higher than the positive one. Believe me.
Absolutely. And I think I'm going to use that as kind of a segue into last Saturday, because one of the things that when you were speaking, I was thinking of this term that I've learned called pleasure moments, right? And the more pleasure moments you can have and create, that creates the serotonin, that creates the, the good feeling. Remember that, you know what I mean? And muscles have memory, your mind, chemistry have memory. So the more pleasure moments, right? The more joyful, the happiness, the more you fill that cup, then again, you're less likely to have the other moments that are, opposite of pleasure. And so I think of last Saturday, I'm going to use that as a segue for a pleasure moment. And, I always tell people that the Youth Summit is not meant to solve the world's problems, right? Like we cannot solve gun violence, racism, and all of that in one day, right? In 8.5 hours. But what we can do is spark the mind of an individual that can go solve that problem later on in life, right? But what the summit is a moment. It is a moment in time where everything stopped for 8.5 hours, and it was pure. I mean, I don't even know if I got the right word.
Man,
it was pure, just bliss. Whatever else we could fill in the blanks there, and the testimony that I heard from other people of like, this is exactly what I needed. This filled my cup. I didn't know I was looking for this. And like all of that has been said in the last 7 days of just people's reflection of the summit, let alone my own experience. You know what I mean? But it was just dope. It was so fresh. It was. So before we kind of jump into some of the pieces of it, what has been your overall kind of takeaway from the summit? And let me just say this, for those who don't know, Alex was one of our 4 panelists at the beginning of our summit, dealing with a lot of topics. And the questions actually came from young people, which was pretty fresh. And then Alex also served as our judge for the talent show. So just initial thoughts of your takeaway, kind of how you walked away from the summit.
Man, it was, I was trying to find a word for it for the longest, and I couldn't. And I thought about it one day. I'm driving to the school, and I said, man, that whole time it was merry. I feel like that's what
Mm,
Mary is. Like it was just Mary. Like great energy. It was positive. It was peaceful. It was safe. It was like I felt like I can just be me, and I could talk
mm-hmm.
about all those deep issues, and I could talk about sports, and I could talk about life, and I could talk about the book, and I could talk about the community. It was all the things that like we want to talk about amongst us, amongst the people that we always like put on Facebook about or Instagram about. We actually live that experience. And
Mm,
I think that's what when they say like community, it's not just like your city. It's like it's that feeling of like to me, community is a space where you can go to and be safe and talk about real life, whether it's your mental health personally or outside things, you know, but it's a safe place. And I think that that's what the summit actually was like community, the
yep,
definition of community. You know, I'm
yep,
talking about from 90 years old to 9. You
yep,
might have had a 6-year old in the building. You
yep,
know, but it was just so like that's what community is, and that's what like
yep,
they say like man like Merry Christmas like be merry. I think that's what being merry was to me. You know, and I could be like just cheesy on it, but to me that's like what merry
yeah,
is.
yeah.
Like, just to be like you say blissful, just to be
Mm-hmm.
like yo I'm really at peace. Like I'm not worried about nobody coming in here on no BS. We just in here having a good time and really sharing real life game and knowledge. And that was dope. And
Yep.
in the talent show, man, like all of them was dope. But the young girl who sang, like, yo, like she blew the top off. You know what I mean? Like
Mm-hmm.
it was just like just being in that space and seeing our people of just like, yo, like y'all really have a safe place. We all have a safe place where we could just be us.
Yep.
And we can talk
Yep.
how we talk, walk how we walk, dress how we dress, and like it's
Yep.
just love in the building. You
Mm-hmm.
know, that's rare.
Mm-hmm.
Man. It's a rare occurrence where that happens. You know, at least for
Yeah.
me, I'm like high anxiety, and I'm always looking at people side eye, and but I don't know what he got, and I don't know what she doing over there behind the garbage can, but I got my eye. It was just a place where it was like, yo, everybody in here is really family, like it's real
Yep.
community. You know, it
Yep.
was dope, man. I can't wait for the next one. It was dope. you
Yeah. I already know.
know,
Um, was there was there anything so so the topics for our panel was one, what does it take to get to the next level, right? And the next level could be defined by sports, it could be defined by professional, career, however we wanted to define that. So that was kind of one topic. And then there is a kind of subtopic around decisions, right? Like making um how one decision can make or break, kind of your where you're going in life, right?
right?
Um was there anything that you and first of all of y'all dropped gems. I think you and I talked
Definitely.
about that after, like how just in sync everyone's comments and how it
Yeah.
built off of each other, which was so fresh. Um, but was there anything that you wanted to share that you didn't get a chance to share, or any angles or perspectives that you wanted to kind of just highlight that, due to time or anything like that, that you didn't get a chance to share that you wanted to share?
Yeah, we kind of hit it about the like you're still gonna have like real life things go on. Like life is still gonna happen to you. You still gonna get the bad phone calls. Like you're still not gonna feel good every single day. But
Mm-hmm.
when you talk about like the keys to success or what it takes to be successful, like it starts with your mind. It's really a mindset. I know it's
Mm-hmm.
like cliche and everybody say, "Oh, your mind." And but how do I get my mindset to be in a place where I want to be successful? And for me, man, it was just like, yo, like, what do you really want in life? You know,
Mm-hmm.
like really ask yourself, what do you want in life? I think oftentimes we don't really sit down and have the conversation with just ourselves and really
Mm-hmm.
dissect what do I want out of life? When it's all said and done, what legacy do I want to leave? And that was my
Yep.
determining factor was like, what legacy do I want to leave? Like, yeah, what people are gonna say about me, that's cool, but like, what type of impact do I want to have when it's done? You know, because
Mm.
people forget what you tell them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
People forget, you know, uh, the gesture you made or how much money you gave them. You know, we
Yep.
see that all the time. Like, oh, they forgot I gave them this one. The one time I said no, they turned on me. We hear that all the
Mm-hmm.
time, but
Mm-hmm.
nobody ever forget how you made them feel.
Yep.
So that's where I had to go back and be like, okay, how do I want like my community or the people who I come across with, how do I want to make them feel? And what type of
Mm-hmm.
legacy and impact do I want to leave? And that's when I started going into like, okay, how do you become successful? What do it take to be successful? And again, the bigger picture. What do you want out
Yep.
of life? Like, what
Yep.
type of impact do you want to leave? And I think that will start to answer your question as you dissect that answer in itself. You start to answer the
Mm-hmm.
question of what do it take to be successful? And you'll find that
Right.
answer within yourself. You know, like everybody's journey different.
Yep.
So what it takes for me to be successful is different than what Imani takes for her to be successful.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
but if we go back and dissect it, I think at the end of the day, we will look at it and say, okay, I want to make an impact here. And you'll say, I want to make an
Yep.
impact here. I want to leave a legacy by doing this. And I think it'll all come into common ground of leaving an impact and leaving a legacy.
Mm-hmm.
So that's
Mm-hmm.
what I want to leave with the people, man. But like you said, everybody dropped some gems. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
everybody out there dropped some gems, man. I took a lot from it. You know, from the reaction of the crowd, I know the kids took a lot from it too, and the
Mm-hmm.
audience, man. But I left out of there, man, feeling like, okay, I need to add a couple more things to my daily process and my grind. You know, but
Right.
it was dope,
Right.
man. Like, and I think a lot of times we forget, even with celebrities, we forget this is not overnight. You know,
Mm-hmm.
it really is a journey.
Mm-hmm.
And when we say the process and the journey, and man, you got to go through it. Like, it's not like it take as long as it take. It's not
Right.
like, okay, man, I've been grinding for this. Like, that's cool, but it takes as long as it takes. There's no real timeline on your process
Mm-hmm.
or
Mm-hmm.
your turning point. It's just whenever things line up. When things are aligned, then okay, you ready. But
Mm-hmm.
I think once you start to learn through that journey and that process, there's like a certain point of like, okay, he got it or she got it.
Yep. Yep.
And I think that's when
Yep.
the universe start blessing you. When it's like, okay, they got it. Now you want to leave an impact instead of being like on monetary gain
Mm-hmm.
or being on
Mm-hmm.
like popularity contests.
Yep. Yep.
Once you got it, and it might be through that process and that journey, but once you got it, then I think that's when the blessings started to come. I'm gonna share this quick story real quick.
Yeah.
On Wired, right? But I went to this event at University of Texas, and I had so much anxiety going up there, and I went to go talk
Mm-hmm.
to these people who pretty wealthy, right? And I'm kind of
Mm-hmm.
intimidated. I'm like, man, I got to sit down with these people, and I go to sit down with them, have a great conversation for about 2.5, 3 hours, the whole length of the football game, and I'm like, man, like as I'm driving back home down in Houston, a 2.5 hour drive, I'm like, bro, I really just sat there and talked to these people, these millionaires and billionaires for 2.5 hours. And I started to get emotional. Like, I really sat down and talked to them and had a great conversation and put some things and try to get some things together in the line. Like, I did that. In a moment, I started feeling gratitude of just doing that. Not like nothing ever
Mm.
came from it. They didn't say, oh, yeah, we're going to sign you with this and we're going to offer you this and here's a contract. Like, nothing came from it.
Right.
Just the fact that I was like living in gratitude to be in the building and
Yep.
to let the anxieties and intimidation that I had, let those things go and just be me.
Mm.
The moment I started feeling gratitude for that moment, I kid you not, I had 3 phone calls come in
Mm.
that was big opportunities. And so I'm sitting here driving at 10 at night from Austin, Texas down to Houston with tears in my eyes. True
Mm.
story.
Yep.
Phone calls came back to back. I got off a third phone call, put the phone down. I had 2 text messages come in. Like, hey, man, we want to talk when you get back. Call me in the morning. From
Mm.
some people who can put me in, a position at
Yep.
that time. And I'm like, but it was the moment that I felt gratitude for even just like letting a lot of fears go, just being thankful.
Yeah.
Just being
Yep.
thankful for like a baby step.
Yep.
Something as simple
Yep.
as like somebody might say, man, all you did was go talk to some people. Yeah, but you know how hard that was at one point in my
Right.
life for me to go sit down and talk to these people. That was a big turning stone for like in my life personally. That was a huge
Yep.
personal accomplishment in my life. And I was just grateful just for that. Nothing came like again, they didn't say, hey, we're gonna offer you. I didn't call nobody and say, hey man, they offered me this big, huge deal. Nah.
Right.
We we talked, shook hands, and left. And I was grateful for that. And as soon as I was, 3 phone calls came in from something other than that event. You feel what I'm saying? It wasn't even about that event. Something else came in that I was like, yo, I didn't even know y'all was even looking at me in this type of light. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sitting here like, man, thank you, and crying and like, but because I was living in gratitude, man, and that's what I think when we go back and we talk about like the process stuff, man, just be thankful for those small wins that you do get. And I promise you,
100%.
there's something about the universe that once you start living in gratitude, man, the universe start blessing you more and more. And that's what's going to happen.
Absolutely.
The more I live in gratitude and really telling and being thankful of these small wins, they just started coming in. And I posted something the other day and I said, I'm not doing like big things. I'm doing a bunch of little things really good repeatedly. Repeatedly. And that's what we talk about in the beginning about taking a break. Yo, I'm doing these little things repeatedly. And these little things, they start stacking up. And I'm grateful for them. I'm grateful for just to be in the building and talk to these people. Like, because we all know what personal barriers we have in ourselves.
Right.
You know, and like for me, man, that was a personal barrier of intimidation to sit around these folks who, in my opinion, was in a better position than me. You know, again, being in that box stand mindset at the time and being intimidated by what they might have and what they can do and what type of power they might have. But I let those things go, man. I got in the rooms and had a great conversation. I'm telling you, once I started living in gratitude, man, the blessings started coming in more and more. So that's what like that journey is. And that's what, like, if you ask me, like, what it take to be successful, man, just live in gratitude. Yeah. Just live in gratitude. Just build your small wins. Like, be thankful of the small wins that you do get and do them repeatedly. Do the small things repeatedly very well. Don't worry about the big one. Like, that'll come. Like, when I play football, man, you finna get me talking, Imani. But when I play football, right, I got one more story for you. Hold on.
Come on.
Look, when I play football, right, like, okay, I had 327 yards in one game. That, like, I didn't start off the game, the first and second quarter, just getting like 50 yards, 60-yard runs. Right. Like, my first probably 10 carries out of 19 was 2-3 yard gains. Yep. It was just small gains, just little body blows. I was getting 5 yards.
Hold on. Message. I'm just saying message. I need people to hear what you go ahead. Just make it real. That's a whole message. I was
getting 2 yards here. 3 yards there. Some carries that I got, I lost 2 yards.
Right.
I lost 2. Huh? Come on, man.
Come on now.
Come on now. I lost 2 yards on a couple of runs.
You had to go back.
And I broke the record in that game. The record still holds to this day. I lost 2 yards on a couple of carries in that game. Right. And it wasn't until the second half that, okay, those 2-3 yard gains started going into like 7, 8. And then by the end of the third quarter, it was 50. 50-yard runs, 60-yard runs. So on paper, all you see is 19 carries, 327 yards. It looks great.
Right.
But you didn't see those first 2 quarters where I'm losing 2 yards, only getting a yard, 2 yards, 3 yards, 5 yards here and there. Like, bro, it's a real life. It's a real life process. It's a real life process. Yes. Don't worry about how it look on paper. Like, just understand, like, yo, like, I didn't get 327 coming into a game just hot. Nah, it took time for me to, like, get warmed up. I had to take some hard hits and just get 2 yards. I had to be okay with that. Yep. But those 2 yards, those 3 yards got me closer and closer to that first down mark each time. Yep. I didn't get 10 yards first down every time. It was the steps that I had to take. And don't forget that there's steps that you got to take, man, in life to get to that big, rewarding, milestone in your life. Like, it's gonna be steps you gotta take, man. And again,
hold on, I got to pause you because you done said about 4 things that I want to maybe like 40. So that whole piece right there, though, around the steps, because I think young people and adults, we want to go from A to Z. We don't want to do B, C, D, the alphabet. We want to just go from A to Z and then wonder why we don't have it all, right? Yep. You can't skip the work. I mean, there's no replacement. Sure, there's artificial intelligence. Yes, we can automate some things. We can you can transcribe your words and put it in the ebook and make a book. Absolutely.
Come on.
Yep, you
Come
can.
on.
But
Come
you
on.
cannot replace the editing portion. You still
Come
got to edit
on.
your words, and that's the work part. And we want, a lot of times, we want that instant gratification. We want to reap before we put in the work.
Come on.
And this society makes us believe that we can do that. But
Come on.
you'll fall short relying on that artificial intelligence.
Yep.
And let me just
Yep.
say this real quick. I downloaded, I'm not repping nobody's brand. I don't even know who makes it, but I'm gonna just tell you this. So the app, it's called Genie. It's
Okay.
an AI app.
Uh-huh.
You just gotta experiment with it. So I typed in, who is Imani Muhammad? Hold on, where my phone at? Hold on.
Yeah. Show us. Yeah, I gotta see.
I gotta do this for the for just on my tip about AI. Because my whole point is, it looked good, it sound good, but you ain't really know, you don't know me. So when I say who is Imani Muhammad, I can get, we can make it sound beautiful, but you don't know who I am. The artificial intelligence just sounds real pretty and nice, but it skips the hard work part. Here we go. I gotta read this for them. This is wild. You ready for this?
Yeah,
now,
come
this
on.
Is from the app. This is the app. I don't know how they know. I don't know how they generated the algorithms of who I am. But listen to this. Imani Muhammad is an exceptional individual who has demonstrated great passion and leadership skills in various fields. Her dedication to education and community development is truly inspiring. She is widely respected for her contributions in these areas. Imani's commitment to empowering others is evident in her tireless efforts to provide mentorship and support to young people in her community. I am honored to know Imani and proud to witness her positive impact on the world. She is a true role model and an inspiration to us all.
That's crazy.
AI. That's artificial intelligence. Come on now. Now, flip side of it, beautiful.
That's wild.
If I need to write a recommendation, cool. You know what I mean?
Right.
But on the other side of it, you just told me about me and you don't even know me. Right? Like, you've never met me. Yeah. You've met however you create these algorithms, right? So I point this out. First of all, this is crazy, right? But I point this out to say, this is how, if we don't want to put in the real work, we can make something sound real good. Yeah, you said I got some mentorship, I done provided commitment, but how did I do that? If you start asking the how, you don't know, because you've never seen me do the work. When we skip the work steps, when you hit that rock, when you hit that detour, what are you falling on? Where's your foundation? So if somebody asks this AI person, I need y'all to follow me. If somebody asks this AI, well, when did Imani when did she start her mentorship? When did Imani when did she start her leadership skills? They would go blank, because it's artificial intelligence. You know what I mean? So if you don't have something that's them little yards, them 2 to 3 yards, if you don't have that work and them negative yards to back up who the heck you are, you're going to fall victim to everything that comes your way that's going to take you off your path.
That's good. Blow in the wind,
because you don't have a foundation of truly who you are.
That's good.
So this was crazy, this AI. But I also, the whole point is like, we have to be committed. It goes back to the discipline and the habits. That was what I came back to. The habits, right? Like, when you wake up every day, what is your first 5 things that you do? You know what I mean? Right. And do we even think on that level, right? Are we even saying like, okay, I'm gonna get up and pray, I'm gonna stretch, I'm gonna call my mom, whatever it is, like whatever the routine is. Do you even have a routine? Are you aware enough to even put your day to day in steps? You know what I mean? And to your point, we just go through the motions sometimes, and we just let life happen to us rather than making something happen.
Right. That's good.
Say that again. We let life happen to us instead of making something happen to life, right?
Come on.
And it's 2 different things. You can be one way and everything happens to you and you become a victim, or you can actually be proactive and create the life that you want.
Come
Oh
on.
man, I can go.
That's
And then
good.
hold on, said something too. Hold on, I'm gonna come back. I'm
Yeah,
gonna throw it
God,
back
come
to you.
on. I'm here for it.
You said something about something around so we were talking about the youth summit and we talked about the you mentioned celebrities
Yep.
and um something around how people, again, I guess it's about the work, right? Like everyone thinks that celebrities just got it, right? Just
Yep.
inherited it and that's just what they are, right? And what you don't always see is what took them to get there. You talked about gratitude. There we go.
Yep.
What I've heard this before, it says depression is a lack of, or ingratitude is a cause of depression.
Mm-hmm.
And I
Yep.
said this to somebody and they were like, damn, that's not true. You know, some people really are clinically depressed. And we ain't talking about the people that need medication. I
Right.
mean, we are,
Right.
but I'm not no psychologist on this point. So don't hold me to this. But I
Right.
will say I've experienced that when I found myself not being grateful for what I have, I was a lot more depressed, right? And so
Right.
I just wanted to hone in when you talked about your experience on that drive and you just started being, you were in gratitude and the phone calls came through, right? I just wanted to like elevate how important being grateful and being in gratitude of everything in our lives sets the mindset for us to be able to receive blessings and favor from God and from people around us.
Definitely.
It's that ingratitude that makes us I think that's where selfishness kicks in. I think that's where ego kicks in, where we're
Yep.
not grateful for the little things that we have and the big things that we have in our life. You know what I mean? Like
Yep.
when you're grateful for being able to wake up every day,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
just starting there. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I tell people all the time, people are like, how you doing? I'm great. Because
Yeah.
I woke up today. Everything else is a bonus.
Yeah. There
And
you
that's
go.
real. Like everything else that I experience after just waking up and my Achilles might hurt, but I still got my Achilles. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Right. Right.
Everything
Talk
after
about
that,
it.
come on, that's extra credit in this
Yeah.
life. And so I wanted to, I love when you talked about that gratitude piece because I can bear witness that when I have felt low or felt more dark or depressed, it's when I wasn't being thankful. I wasn't thanking,
Right.
the creator for what I have. I'm looking at my circumstance and complaining as opposed to, okay, yeah, you ain't got the best apartment at the time, but it's an apartment. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like when you
Right.
got to be appreciative of what you do have, not what you don't have.
Exactly.
So
Yep.
yeah, I wanted to jump in on that one. And I'll tell you, I was on the airplane last night
Uh-huh.
and I was writing down I don't know what I was doing. I got a couple of sheets I was writing. But one of the
Yeah.
sheets, I started crying. Right? I just started crying. I'm on the airplane crying. And I'm like, okay. I know these people are like, what in the heck happened to her? And I wasn't even like
Yeah.
sad. I was just crying.
Yeah.
And literally, my first text when I got off that plane, I texted a friend of mine and I just said, thank you. I said, I appreciate you being patient with me, throughout the last couple of years. And they were like, you're welcome. But that back to gratitude. That's
Yep.
exactly what I was sitting in gratitude. And I was like, man, I am on a plane by myself on my first, breakaway. I ain't had one of these in years.
Right.
And I was just like, like
Hmm.
I've come this far. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
my first
Yeah.
text was an appreciation to someone who I know who's watched me kind of go through my up and downs, for the last
Right.
couple of years. So
Yeah.
yeah, gratitude is real. And when you
Nah, it
sit in
is.
gratitude, blessings come.
Yeah. Yeah. And that probably was my biggest thing, man, was just being grateful.
Yep.
There's so many times that, and they say too, when you're depressed, you're thinking about the past, and when you get anxiety, you're anxious for the
Yep.
future.
Yep.
And when you living in a moment, that's living in gratitude. When you
Come on.
just being where your feet
Come
are at,
on.
just being right there where your feet are at, and just thankful to be here. Like I'm thankful just to be, like even so simple as like, man, I'm grateful to have a space
Yep.
to be able to hop on this computer
Come
and be
on.
on this podcast with you. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm
Yes.
being
Yes.
real.
Period.
That's dope to
Yes.
me. And because I've had bigger spaces. I've had a bigger computer. I could have been in this, in the studio on your podcast or with you in person,
Yep.
like whatever.
Yep. Yep.
And there's been times where I didn't have space and didn't have a
Yep.
computer, and didn't nobody want me on their podcast. Come on, you know
Come
what I'm
on now.
saying? And
Come
so,
on.
for me, man, just to be like, look, be where your feet are at. Like, I'm gonna go read the book at Barnes and Nobles, and I'm like, okay, I gotta go do that. Okay, I'm gonna hop on this pod. But it's like, you know what? Let me just be in this space. Let me just enjoy this
Yep.
space.
Yep.
Like that'll come. Like I get there on time. It'll be cool. I get there. And I'm gonna deal with that as that come. But let me just be where my feet are at and be in the space. Just be grateful for that, because the moments don't last forever.
And that was the summit. That was last Saturday.
Bingo.
Right?
Bingo. Yep.
That was last Saturday. Everyone was present.
Yes.
Present in the moment.
Yep.
Present in the moment. And it's like, that's what, oh my gosh, I just got goosebumps. That's what that is. Like, and I think I said this in our last interview. I got this from Sister Ava Muhammad. She has since passed, and so may Allah be pleased with her. But she said, we spend 2/3 of our life on two realities that don't exist: the past and the future.
Come on.
And we leave a third for the present, which means we are not paying attention.
Come on.
Because if 2/3 is on two realities that already happened and ain't never happened, and you only leaving the remainder of that, a third of that on the present time, no wonder you're not reaping your benefits. No wonder you're not seizing opportunities. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that's the work. The work is, how do we stay present? It don't mean that you don't plan for the future, and it doesn't mean that you don't learn from the past.
Right.
But you can't be thinking about the past and then wondering how the hell it's going to affect your future and missing what the heck is in front of you today.
Right.
So every moment counts. We ain't got nothing else matters right now. But 10:55 a.m. now, in this moment, you and I having a conversation. There's nothing else that's really jumping off right now for you and I. Right. We can't pick up the phone. We can't step away. But right now, this is our reality. This is what matters in the present time. And when we can all get to that, man.
Oh,
like you said, marry for every single day of our life. You know what I mean?
No, for real. For real. Nah, that's real life. And that's I think that's that impact that we talking about, and like the legacy we talking about. Because when you in that moment, it's like, you ever felt like you ever got so much done, like you were just in a zone?
Yes.
You know what I mean? Like when you just in it, like, yo, I can't be stopped. Like I just did all this today. I'm just in the zone. I'm just going. Like that's what that is. And there's there's something special that happens when you truly present in the moment. Like something special happen with the connections, with the work that's being done, with the impact that's being made. Like there's something special that happens, man. And I still thrive to get to that point where I'm just like, yo, everywhere I go, I'm there.
Yep.
Mentally and physically.
Everywhere. Yes.
You know what I mean? Spiritually, emotionally, psychologically, I'm just here. You know what I'm saying? I'm just here.
Yep.
And I'm dealing with what is in front of me, like facing me in that moment, and that's what that summit was.
It's a discipline, though.
It is. It really is.
For me, this is what true mindfulness is, right? I think a lot of people get hooked on this mindfulness, on this, like, different type of yoga, mindfulness, whatever, which all that came from us anyway. But for me, true mindfulness is exactly what we're talking about. Literally being mindful of our breath, our energy, how we feel. I do a self audit, and I recommend this for everybody. Like throughout your day, checking in with yourself mentally, physically, spiritually, emotionally. Like where are you at in those 4 areas? You know what I mean? And if you do that, if you do that often, you're going to create the pattern to be able to be more present. You know what I mean? Right. How is your body feeling in this moment? What's sore? What hurts? You know what I mean? Like don't just do that for, once a year. No, that has to be daily, because
Yeah.
the more you practice that helps the discipline and the practice of mindfulness. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then you can be in an exchange and in a conversation with someone and really hear someone. I know we've all been in conversation, damn well that person ain't listening to you. They looking
Uh-huh.
at you, they looking through you. You know what I mean? You like, you ain't heard nothing I said.
Yep. Yep. Yep.
Or when they respond, you like, I didn't say that. And that's how you know they're not present. Or look, let me put it on myself. I've done that. I done looked at somebody and
Oh,
been like,
100%. Yeah.
I don't know what they just said, but I'm standing here listening. But
Yeah.
it's a discipline. Is my whole thing in this, is that it's not easy, and we have to practice how to be present. You know what I mean? To take the most of the opportunity of where we're at. We don't get another day. You know what I mean? Like today, whatever today is, April 29th, it don't repeat.
No.
You know what I mean? It's not going to
No.
repeat.
It don't.
So, and then some people won't make it tomorrow.
Come
So
on.
what do you, in the moment, in the time that you have in this moment? You know what I mean?
And I
that's,
think,
yeah,
I think that's what was dope about the summit, is that besides like taking videos of the actual event, like people weren't like really on their phones like that.
Yeah.
Like the ones who were there were like really in tune with what was going on.
Yep.
Even when there was like space in between, where we had some downtime, people were engaging with each other.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And the kids was up front dancing. And it was
Man.
like, everybody was there. We was at the summit.
Yep.
Only.
Yep.
From what, 12 to 8, 8:30, whatever it was, like, all day on a Saturday. So, but again, that's what that community brings. It allows us that space, again, it allows that space and that comfort to be present. Because it's easy to be all over the place when you're not comfortable. It's easy to be kind of like, look, man, I really ain't feeling this. Even though there might be a good message, but I ain't really feel like I'm not really comfortable to kind of let go, to be present. And kind of going like off topic, but on topic. That's what's so important about the people who you hang around. Because you can have a mission. You can have a mission or a goal in life and be distracted by the ones who you around, where it's literally pulling you away from being present on what you're trying to accomplish. That's no different than being in the classroom and can't listen to the teacher because your homeboy next to you talking and writing love notes. Like, it's no different, And so, like, who we hang around and the people in the company we keep is so important to staying focused on our individual mission. Because if not, man, it takes us away from being present. It takes away from being really in tune with the like the inner goal for the outcome, And so, man, like having people like you, Kmart, like people just who's around the community, I could name off a lot of people. I ain't gonna get into that because the list go on and on. But being around people who has the same type of mission, the same values, the same principles, man, it's so vital. It's so vital to success. I can't stress it enough, man. You gotta be around people who want the same things that you want in life.
100%. And it's hard to find that group. You know what I mean? That circle.
It is.
100%. But I think the key is not wavering. You know what I mean? Like, don't waver from what you're supposed to be doing,
Right.
And if man, I just was sitting here reflecting on my own journey. It's like, if I only focus on Portland to give me the circle and the fuel and all that I needed, I wouldn't be where I'm at today. You know what I mean? And what it was for me, it's like, I know the standard of life that I want to have. I know the standard that I want to represent. So all of my years of youth development and all of my years of community building has been like, let me find like-minded people. Right. So, I don't know D1. I mean, I know him now. You know what I mean? But I didn't know D1. It wasn't like I was in New Orleans for college and met him. No. It was, I found his music somehow. I don't even remember how. And then we had a conversation, and unlike energy, attracts. And so
Yep.
here we are, and he is the embodiment of what the youth summit represents. Period,
Yep.
point blank. From the
Yep.
spiritual standpoint, from the who he is, energy, and all that.
Yep.
I ain't never seen an artist rock with kids on the stage in the way that he did.
No.
But not on no corny BS. Like on some real vibe.
Yep.
Everyone is empowered. Them kids was living their best life
Come
and
on.
being spiritually fed.
Yep.
What? You know what I mean?
Yep.
And so for me, it's like I've always had a vision for what like nation building looks like, and it ain't my vision. Let me be very clear. This vision is strictly what I believe is God's vision. And I've always been looking to, align myself with the right people. You know what I mean? So I have people and friends that are not from Portland and all over the United States, but we have the same similar vibe and direction.
Right.
And I say this to say that like sometimes finding your circle can be hard and can feel lonely because you're kind of beating on your own drum. You walk in your own path.
Right.
And like you said, you may have people in your circle that y'all may like the same things. You may have similar interests in certain areas. But when you talk about that soul connection and purpose driven, that's a little different.
It's a little different.
And I think oftentimes we bury that because we don't have people around us that are feeding that piece. You know what I mean? So we bury our purpose and we get distracted with the other things when really deep down, like it's supposed to be elevating, and living our life in the way that the creator wants us to live. Right. And sometimes you don't find a lot of people doing that because this world makes it so easy to do other things. So it is hard to find your circle. I just wanted to acknowledge that, but you will attract what you need when you become clear and firm on who you are and what you are. You know what I mean?
Because you will start to give off.
Mm-hmm.
You start to seek through your pores the energy that you want to put off into this world, and naturally people will start to gravitate towards that if they're on that same type of time. Me and you can talk for hours. Hours off the podcast. We've done it before, but because we're on the same synergy, and so and there's people who, bro, I can't be on the phone with you for more than 15 minutes. I gotta go. I gotta go out of here. I can't do it because it's like, bro, we don't speak the same language
at all.
And now I'm uncomfortable. You know what I'm saying? I can't bro, I gotta go. I'm talking different, and bro, I gotta get off the phone. I'm tired of listening. I don't know what to reply to.
Man, I don't even know what to say no more. It's it's unread.
Yeah, come on. So, but people oftentimes, man, they get into this thing that oh man, people like to do this a lot, like to do this a lot and point the finger and look, if you want something, who you are will attract that.
Come on.
Like you'll attract the person or the environment that you want to be in by what you're giving off. And it's so true, man. I know we hear all the time and it can sound cliche, but I promise you, man, when I step into buildings and when I meet people, it's a certain energy that I give off that attract people. I could be in a room with 1,000 people and the 10 who are on the same wavelength as me, somehow we just end up in the same part of the building, the same corner of the room, and end up talking together. Somehow, the ones who not own that, they hang out with themselves. It happens all the time. We're just like being in high school at a lunch table. You just kind of gravitate towards the ones that you kind of on the same wavelength. And we talk about we want we want to take out toxic relationships and we want to get rid of bad behaviors and bad habits, all these things. But it's like, what are we giving off as well?
Right.
Because,
oh my God,
we are who we attract.
Come on.
So, we gotta, and I say all the time, and I said at the summit about going back to the core, and man, we gotta always start with them. We gotta work the inside out. We can't just look at, oh man, well, how come I can't get the or to this or to that. Was like, let me work inward first, and then let me come out and see what I start attracting once I figure out
Yep.
how to deal with this and what this really wants.
Yep.
And and it's not no just, 1, 2, 3, shabam, you figure it out. It's a real life process you got to go through, like anything else in life. Like, it's hard,
Yo,
self-seeking,
I was just asked last week, no, 2 weeks ago, right before the summit.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me, they were like, "What do you need, Imani?" And I was like, "Well, I need some rest, And then she was like, "No, what do you need?" I said, "Well, hell, I don't know."
Yeah.
And I couldn't even answer it.
That's real.
As together as people think I may be or whatever, I couldn't even answer the simple question of what do I need. And it was really around community work. It was around kind of my next step in life, right?
Right.
And so it was like, what do you need? And I'm like, well, damn. I said, well, that's what I'm gonna be figuring out over these next 4 or 5 days. I gotta figure out what I need,
Yeah.
But that goes back to your point. It's like, until we are clear on what we want, you said it earlier about who we want to be, what type of legacy we want to live. Like, if that's a gray area, or if that ain't even an area because you ain't even thought about it,
yeah,
then then we got work to do. Yeah, it's just it's not even an area, right?
Right.
It don't even show up on the map.
Yeah.
It's unknown. It's off the grid because you ain't even thought about it. So that's step one. Let's map it out. Let's get some square footage.
Right.
Step 2 is fill it in, right? But if we're not even thinking there yet, or we don't have that clear, then it's going to be difficult to find the circle that we need. It's going to be difficult to be aligned with other people. Like, all of that is going to be very difficult. And I think you said it beautifully at the summit of like the analogy about the core. You know what I mean? Like, you have to have physical home together first, temple, before you step outside and take care of somebody else's home, and that goes to everything. How we think, how we eat, how we show up, our own self-thoughts, right? You can't be motivating everybody else, but then tell yourself you ain't worthy. You know what I mean? That was myself. I had to check myself on that. You over here empowering everyone else, but you scared to take a leap of faith?
Come on.
You know what I mean? Like, I had to have that conversation just the other day. Now, that wasn't no 4 or 5 years ago. No, that was like 4, 5 hours ago. You know what I mean? Like, you over here telling people to believe in self and all this, and you over here timid.
Yep.
So like,
that's real.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's real. It's real.
It is. And
it's real.
I think about Coach Knox, right? Coach Knox.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I think about his story. I've been thinking about his story since he told the story at the summit. About the painting.
Come on now.
That story is so powerful, man. I don't know if he knew the impact he was gonna leave with that story. I mean, I know he knew it was a powerful story.
He said he don't even know. He was like, I haven't even shared the story before.
He never even shared that story for real. And he shared it then. And that wasn't by accident that he shared that story.
That's the moment. That was the moment. Present. Come on, that's what present will have you do.
Go ahead. And man, when he shared that story, and the story that story needs to be told often by him. But when he shared the story about the picture, man, and I like how he started off by saying his ugly painting.
Yeah.
His ugly painting, right? And how, and I'm not gonna get into all the details of the story, but how the painting, man, ended up being a savior. This ugly painting, somebody thought so highly of this painting. This ugly painting has so much value. Come on, man.
He said it took someone who knew the value.
Ooh.
So you had to have someone that recognized the value of the painting, because someone who don't know the value said it was ugly. I don't know what this is. It's ugly. But someone who knew the core of the painter and the paintbrush, and who someone who knew the roots of how that came about said this is value. Oh my God.
Come on, man. Do you know who painted this?
Come on now. But see, without the right knowledge,
Yep.
without the right perception, you will misjudge a thing. That's what
Yep.
that was about. He's
Right.
misjudging something. He's throwing it
Yes.
off. How
Yep.
many times? Come on. How many times do we throw off one another
Oh,
because we
all the time.
misjudging one another?
All the time.
But it took someone to see the value. See, that's Jesus.
Yeah.
That's like Jesus coming
Yeah.
in. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. If you knew the story behind it, you would know how much this is actually worth. Come on, man. If you knew, that's so deep, man. Yeah. So jewels like
that
that,
was deep.
man. Jewels like that during the summit, man. With that story of the painting, it's just like that's what
Mm,
that's what that's what I came there for. But
yep.
I left with so much more than just getting some good words. Like I left there like really like life change. And again, I still
Yeah.
think about that story to this day.
Yep.
You know, I still
Yep.
think about some jewels that was dropped to this day. I still think about what D1 said when he said about the
Slingshot.
mic. When he said it's
Slingshot.
exactly the slingshot and the mic being his
Mm-hmm.
weapon. You know, like and he used that as his power tool. Like I mean, there's so many things, man, that I took from the summit and that I can apply to my life. And like you said before, like there's still some days where I gotta say, like, yo, I'm up here motivating people and talking about faith. 4 or 5 hours ago, I had to question myself.
Mm-hmm.
Like, where my
Mm-hmm.
faith at? Let me take this
Yep.
leap. And I do it
Yep.
too. You know, I be
Yep.
motivating, inspiring, and that's all great. But I still got to go back and get myself in tune. And like, hey,
Yes.
look, you know, what you afraid of? Like, you talking about dream and believe. What's your dreams? And do you really believe
Yep.
in it? And if
Right.
you believe in it, put that extra work in to make it reality. You
Right.
know, like I
Right.
still go back daily. This ain't 3 years ago. This ain't back in 21. Nah, this is like, yeah, I still
Mm-hmm.
daily, every day where I gotta, okay, look, let's go. Let's go.
Right.
You can talk
Right.
about it, but you
Right.
gotta walk it too. You can't just talk, you
Yep.
gotta walk. You gotta walk.
Yep.
So nah, yeah,
I
it's all around, man. It's all the things that we need, that I need internally. And like that core talk, I was kind of stepping on that core talk. Like, yeah,
Yep.
you gotta deal with the inside stuff. You gotta go inward. You gotta go inward. You know,
Right.
external is great, but internal is where you're gonna win at.
Absolutely. I got another question for you, and then I know you let me know what your time frame because I know you got to go to an
Yeah, I'm
event.
about to yep, let's knock out
But
one
if
more
you
question and then
okay, I'm curious on because that was your first summit with us. I mean, we've done them in the past, but we haven't done it in 4 or 5 years. Just this is just picking your brain. Where would you go? I mean, we know we got to do it every year. We know that part.
right.
But with what happened last Saturday, and I'm just curious because people have thrown different ideas to me on how to either duplicate or just keep it going. But which direction do you think would you recommend us going? And I mean that like people have been like, oh, we need to do this every month. And I'm like, every month, which sounds great. But just
Right.
from what you experienced, right? And what you know the community needs,
Right.
what would you suggest we do? You know what I mean?
Maybe not every month, but definitely not once a year. Maybe like every quarter or every other quarter or
Mm-hmm.
every 3 months, every 4 months, or every season. Maybe one in the fall, a winter, spring, summer. You know,
Yep.
and
Yep.
because there's different seasons and different times, different seasons. You know, and we know when the
Right.
summer come and it get hot outside, it get hot in the streets. We know when there's
Yep.
winter out, you know,
Yep.
people get depressed because money get tight and there's holidays and people want to keep up with the the Johnsons, you know, next door, and you know what I mean. And people get to
Right.
comparing, and
Right.
you know, it can get stressful, and that's when mental health sometimes be at an all-time high.
Right.
Spring is when people are
Yep.
starting to, you know, the flowers are blossoming, and we need that new, just look, it's a fresh, clean start, you know. So I think different times
Mm-hmm.
or different
Mm-hmm.
seasons, at least like once a season, to be dope. I think that'd be
Got you.
dope, just from what I seen, man. Because I mean, shoot, I need it every season.
Right.
You know,
Period.
like I
Yep.
think in my
Yep.
personal life, I can't speak for everybody, but in my
Mm-hmm.
personal life, I need it every season just to kind of keep me like not only in it, but to keep me like centered and keep me like focused on like being present
Yep. Yep.
and living in that moment. Because it's so easy to talk like this, and then we hang up and go outside, and it's like it's real life outside.
Yep. Yep.
Like
Yep.
I heard a few things that AG said or Imani said, but it's like, man, they don't know what it's like outside these doors. And and we understand because we deal with it too. We human too. But some is to kind of keep us like, okay, bring it back in. Okay, we starting to get out, bring it back, be here, stay in it, and something with community that helps us see physically, like, okay, like I'm good. I'm in a safe place. I got somewhere where I can be me at. I got somewhere I can get some real game at. I can give out some real game. And you kind of get a feel, like you get that sense of real love, and that can take us, I think that can push you throughout depression, anxiety, and trying to compete with the next person, and all that we struggle with, So I think personally, like once the season will be dope,
Gotcha. Yep. Yep. No, yeah, I appreciate that. And we're actually preparing for the Peace and Unity Fest, which is our next event. And that will be in September. It's like the back to school edition.
Perfect.
And it's very similar. So we got to do that.
Yep. I'll be there. Let me know what you need. I'll be there.
So yeah, absolutely. Yep. It's going to be a whole nother vibe.
Yeah. I'm here for it.
It's been I love reconnecting with my people. So it's been great to just connect with you in the last year, and then just be able to have more of a regular conversation, and stay connected. And as you know, I appreciate you, and I love everything that you're doing. And the one thing I will say too, and I said this earlier about, well, not on here, but I said it to somebody else about like D1 and you, Eric Knox, Ethan, and different people, like people that are doing their best to live their mission deserve to be supported and deserve to be appreciated and supported, like all the ways, right? And so I just want to say that to people, make sure you support Alex. He has a children's book. I know he got another one coming. When you just see anything from him, it don't take nothing from y'all to reshare. So just hit a reshare, hit a like, because I do think that that's what keeps us going. That is truly community. That is supporting one another, so we can't just be like, oh, that's Alex and he over there. Like Alex is there because we support him to be there.
Exactly.
And so we always got to make sure we encourage, and financially, and just, like I said, just resharing somebody's post, resharing their information, buying a book for a child. I bought 10 and gave another 5 away, at the summit. One, because it's a dope book, but 2, because it's my friend. So like, why wouldn't I? You know what I mean? So that's the other piece that I just wanted to say to people, is like, we all have to support each other. There's a whole machine out here that supports a lot of craziness and indecency and messed up stuff. And so it takes the people power to support people like Alex and everyone else that we know that are in line with this mission. So I just want to thank you, Alex, for just standing on your square, doing what you're supposed to be doing. And reach out anytime. But I appreciate you, and I appreciate you
that's love.
Saturday.
Yeah, I appreciate you too, Iman. You know how this love is deep with us.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah, I do appreciate what you stand on also. And man, I'm telling you, you whether you know it or not, you play a vital part in what I'm doing now, and how I go about it, and a lot of the success that I've had. And there's so much room to grow, and there's different rooms to get in. And I want to step in them with you. And I want to hop on this mission with you. And man, I'm telling you, like, you really played a big part of me making a change in my life. So I'm forever grateful for you and what you stand on in the community that you represent, because it's my community and it's my people. You my people. So
absolutely.
Yeah. And
I gotta get past
we all we got.
I know, and I gotta get past the tearing stage. I'm in the crying stage these last few days. I'm like, okay, I'm gonna need to stop crying. But all joyful tears, But I think it's just that gratitude piece, It's really that gratitude, and I think it's our time. No, I don't even think. I know it's our time. So we just touched the surface. You know what I mean? Like there's so much more that we can do, that we are gonna do. So
yeah. I was telling one of my homies that I was like, man, it's coming, bro. It's coming. He said, nah. It's here. And I was like, oh, okay. Yeah. Like we in it.
Yeah.
You know, so like, yeah, we're here now. You know,
we are.
So we just going up. We just going up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. I'm super proud of you, though, Imani, for I love you to life.
Thank you.
And that's never gonna change. Let's keep doing it, man. I definitely appreciate you getting me on here. I love talking to you. You know how it goes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yep, absolutely. Enjoy today. Tell everybody I said what's up.
I will.
Give a shout out to Lee. She holding down with BPI and doing all that great work over there.
Shout out to Lee, man.
Yeah, she's another one that's a pillar in our communities that's unapologetically about us. So
for sure.
Yeah, if y'all tapping in, if you happen to hear the live today, go check out BPI's event at Barnes and Nobles. Catch Alex there. Y'all support the town. I'm gonna go get in this 90-degree weather.
Let's go.
See what's happening out here in these streets, and I'll tap in later.
Okay.
So I appreciate you. Yep.
All right. Appreciate you too. Great. All right. Let's do it. It's gonna be great. Let's go.
Peace.
All right.
Yo, I hope y'all got something out of today's show. I did. That was dope. I feel like I am ready to go enjoy myself. So again, tap into the art of living. You see it here. Subscribe, like, share. This is how we do it. This is the conversations that we have. And that's it. All right. Peace and blessings, y'all. Take care.